Hey everyone, how are you? Jason Lawrence here. Today I want to talk about the home building process and what to expect, and especially the beginning of this process. Now, this video is going to be helpful for those who are going to have a new home built for themselves. So if you're somebody that, maybe you're going to GC the house yourself, you are going to go out and find a builder to build a home. These are things that are going to happen in the beginning stages, or things that should happen. So if you're watching this video and the builder that you're meeting with isn't doing these things, well, you know that they should be, and maybe you could kind of chime in with that. If you're a new home builder and you have not gone through the process before with a customer, maybe you've got your first customer that you're going to be meeting with and you're just not sure how that process goes. How do we get to the point from this person said they want to build a home with me to actually getting the build started, budgeting the home, getting things going? How do we do that? For those of you who haven't watched my channel before, don't be turned off by the fact that I'm driving my vehicle and I'm not in a, new construction house with all kinds of fancy home clips and things like that. I guarantee that you are going to find great and useful information in this video, so stay tuned. Well, first things first, let's say that you've already started working with a builder, or you've got a feeling or whatever it is that you're going to be moving ahead with this builder. And if you're the builder, we're kind of at the same stage here. You've got somebody that has come to you, they want you to build them a home. So what is the first thing that is going to happen here? What is the first thing that is going to kind of get things kicked off? So number one, the builder should be asking you what your budget is. You don't want to start looking at home plans and start going down the wrong aisle, going down the $700,000 home aisle when you have a budget of $550,000 to spend. So the builder should be asking, what is your budget range for home and lot together? And you as the buyer, as the customer, it's a good idea to actually just meet with the lender before you even really get too far into the building process. You can of course do this at any point, but it's great for you to be able to come in to the builder and tell the builder what your budget range is. If you go to the bank and you talk to the bank is going to give you an idea. You may be approved for more than you want to be. This is going to be based upon what type of monthly payments you want to be making for your home. But if you talk to the bank prior, when you come in to meet with the builder, you're going to be able to tell the builder an amount for what you would like to spend for your new home. That's going to be helpful for both sides. That's going to help save time because the builder is going to know, kind of what to show you as far as home plans, or he can kind of tell you, based off of this, last 2,100 square foot home that I built, the build cost was X amount of dollars, and you're gonna both start to figure out where you should be at as far as size of home and finishes. If you're a new builder, you may not really know what all can be done. If somebody comes in and says they've got a budget of $600,000, you may not know exactly what to show them. And depending on what type of builder you're meeting with, they may or may not have floor plans that they offer. You may go to a builder that offers floor plans. They're most likely going to know what the pricing is on those floor plans because those are, plans of theirs. So the builder in that case would be able to say, okay, well, based upon your budget, these are the homes that would work best for you. These are all ones that are going to kind of fall within that ballpark price range. Well, what if you're a builder and you don't have floor plans? Again, you're starting off here. You don't have floor plans that you've got on your website. And maybe you as the customer, you don't like any of the builder's floor plans that are on their site. You want to build a custom home. So where do we go from here? Customer wants to build something custom, doesn't want to, just pick one of the builder's blueprints. And the builder, new builder here, he doesn't have floor plans that he can offer. So the best thing that you can do there is have the customer, or you the customer, start to look at some different online floor plan sites to kind of get an idea as to what you like, and maybe make a list before you start looking at plans. And how many bedrooms do you want in the home? How many bathrooms do you need in the home? Do you need an office, kitchen, great room, eating area? Do you need a formal dining room? Do you need a large walk-in pantry? Kind of making a list of all of the things that you need and want in the house. That way, when you start to look at floor plans, you can kind of compare them against your list, and you can maybe pull and save a few different floor plans. So one piece of advice, maybe you're the builder and maybe the customer has told you and has kind of given you this list of things that they want in the home, and you as the builder are maybe going to hit some of these floor plan sites and start looking for different home plans to present to them. One thing to keep in mind is a home with 4 corners is going to be the most inexpensive type of home to build. So if you've just got a rectangular shaped foundation with a garage attached to it, that's just going to be one roof line going across there, 4 foundation corners. That's very cost efficient. Now, most homes aren't going to be like that, but I'm just telling you that's kind of your starting point. So, any home's going to have at least 4 corners, right? Unless it's a triangular home, or a circular home. I've actually seen one of those before, but those aren't very common. We're not really talking about that. So just want to jump in real quick and talk about my course that I put together for those who are going to be having a new home built, or even if you're a new builder. Everything in here is going to pertain to you except the section about choosing the right builder. Choosing the right builder is one of the most important parts of this process, and making sure everything that I'm going to talk about here in this video is covered in great detail in the course. But these are things that are going to help you avoid change order fees, builder markups. It's just going to save you thousands of dollars throughout the build and give you a great experience. So check that out in the details below. But you want to get to a point where you've got a plan that you found online, and it doesn't have to have everything that you like, but most of it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to print off that floor plan, you're going to bring it to the builder, you're going to sit down with the builder, and you're going to go over the things that you like in that plan, and maybe the things that you feel like you need to still add to that plan. So the builder's going to be able to make notes on there. The builder's ultimately going to take that floor plan flyer that you brought in with his notes on it, and he's going to give that to his draftsman so that the draftsman can take that concept and turn it into a full working set of blueprints. Now, at some point in this process, because you're going to be taking a plan from an online website, you're going to need to purchase the license to build that home one time. And this is going to range in cost between, probably $800 and $1,000. When you go to these different plan sites, there's going to be options for you to buy the whole floor plan, the full set of blueprints, or you can just buy the right to be able to build the home one time, the license to build the home. Don't buy the full set of blueprints. Most of the time, those blueprints aren't going to match up with the area that you're building in. So whoever your builder is going to need to redraw those prints anyway. So you're going to end up spending money on these blueprints, and then the builder's going to have to redraw them anyways. So just print out the flyer, make your notes on there, have the builder's draftsman actually draw up the full set of blueprints. Now, you as the builder, and this is where you as the customer need to be kind of watching to make sure this is happening. So in that initial meeting, when you're talking about what you want in the house, the builder should be asking lots of different questions. So even rewinding here before we've maybe even found a floor plan, the builder should be asking pretty basic questions. Are you looking for a 2-story home or a ranch home? Are you looking for a 2-story with a first floor master? How many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? The builder should be trying to get an idea as to what type of home you're looking to build, and what the size home is that you're looking to build. Because if it's an experienced builder like myself, I'm going to be asking these questions, and by the time I'm done asking these questions, I'm going to have a pretty clear picture in my head as to what you're looking for as a customer. as to what the size of this home is going to be. Maybe I've got floor plans that are pinging off in my head that I'm like, okay, well, this one kind of matches up with everything there. I know what the price is for this one, so I can tell you right then and there, just to let you know, everything that we've talked about here, we're probably going to be around 2,400 square foot. Our Livingston floor plan here, if we add 200 square feet to that, is going to kind of give us everything that we're looking for. And just to give you a rough idea, the base price of the Livingston home is X, and most people that are building this home are adding $65,000 to $75,000 of extras on top of the base price. So that means that a realistic build cost for this home is going to be $565,000, and then we need to take and add the lot to that. If I'm giving you as the customer an idea of what the cost is, and that's way over what your budget is, you can tell me right then and there, well, we were actually looking to spend $565 all in, and the fact that the build is $565 and we don't even have the lot factored in there yet, that's going to end up being over our budget. So then I don't have to waste too much time. We're definitely not gonna find a plan like the one that I was just talking about that prices up for that amount and spend all that time going through the plan and figuring out what the price is, only to come back to them and say it's going to be about $565 for the build, and then they say, well, that's way over my budget. So if I know what the price point is, and that what we just talked about is going to be and far exceed what your budget range is, now we can kind of reposition and say, okay, you know what, we're going to need to look at something that isn't 2,400 square feet. We're probably going to need to be right around the 2,000 square foot range. The builder is going to take and give that floor plan to the draftsman. The draftsman is going to draw up the plan, and once you have the plan back, a lot of times you're not going to get the full set of blueprints back right away. You're going to get what's called a preliminary plan. Because if a draftsman is taking a home plan flyer, it's something they've never drawn up before, they don't know how everything's going to work out. A lot of times these online plans, well, we'll say almost all the time, these online plans will call out a certain square footage that they are, but once they're actually drawn up by a draftsman, they grow in square footage by 200-300 square feet. It's crazy how it works, but for whatever reason, that's what happens. So basically the draftsman is going to take and put something together and send back and say, okay, based upon all the information that you gave me, the floor plan flyer, the notes that we have here, here's what the layout looks like. Here's a basic front elevation. The square footage is calculated, and then you can see all of the room sizes. So this gives you an idea, okay, wow, this house, we thought it was going to be 2,500 square feet. It's actually 2,800 square feet. So that might exceed our budget, or maybe there's some things that we need to trim down here. It's going to tell you and show you what all the room sizes are. So maybe this plan gets drafted up and it comes in at 2,400 square feet, but the bedrooms are a little small. They're 11 by 11 and a half. And that's a point where you can kind of, you're going to go over this preliminary plan with the customer. You're going to go over this plan with the builder, and you're going to make additional notes here, because this is like the first draft that you're getting back here. So there may be some kinks that need to be worked out. There may be some things that need to be finalized before this plan gets put into a full working set of blueprints. It's a lot easier to make changes to a preliminary plan than it is a full set of blueprints. So you want to get all the big changes out of the way while you've got the preliminary plan concept going on. So you're going to then meet with the builder, go over the plan, make your notes in there. The builder can have the plan revised. Once you look at the plan and you say, I'm good with it. You know what? We're good with the size, good with the bedroom sizes, everything, looks good here. Now let's move it into the process where we're going to get the full set of blueprints drawn up. Now, once you have the preliminary plan, there are going to be some selections that we'll be able to get done. You can meet with the cabinet company to start with the cabinet layout and drawings, because there's going to be overall dimensions that are in there, so the cabinet company should be able to get things started there. You're going to be able to pick out flooring and countertops and things like that. So at this point where you get the preliminary plan, the builder should have you starting to do selections. Selections are one of the most important parts of this entire process. Selections are really going to determine, the blueprint of course determines what the cost is, but the selections are going to have a huge impact on what the overall build cost is. So if the builder has the full set of blueprints and he's going to send it out and he's going to start getting bids for windows, for the lumber, for the concrete walls, you're basically at a point where now you got a plan that you like, everything looks good there, but you need to know what the exact build cost is going to be to build this home, because you have to put a building contract together to give to the bank. So, first step is the blueprint. Second step is the selections. Third step is the building contract that's going to go to the lender. So again, while you've got the preliminary plan, ask the builder, hey, what selections can we be doing right now while we're waiting for the full set of blueprints to get drafted? You as the builder, get some of these selections going with the customer once you've got that preliminary plan. You're going to need all of the information as far as what they're choosing for selections. You're going to need that in order to put together an accurate build price. So once you've got that preliminary plan all buttoned up, everything looks good there, you're going to send it to the draftsman so that they can put together the full set of blueprints. Now, you as the builder, and just you to, as a customer to be aware, most builders are going to need some type of a deposit in order to get all of this work started. So if a builder is going to take and have a draftsman draw up even a preliminary plan, he's going to have to pay that draftsman to do that. So you as the customer are going to need to put down some type of a deposit so that if something goes wrong and you end up walking away, the builder's not losing money. He can at least pay the draftsman for the blueprints that get drafted up. So there needs to be some type of deposit there. Now, you as the customer are going to want to kind of know, before you have a plan drafted up, what a ballpark price is going to be for this particular plan. So, you're at a point now where you've got the plan, you've made those notes with the builder, you've kind of went over everything, you feel good about what you're going to send to the draftsman, but then the builder says, okay, I'm going to need a deposit from you in order to move forward here. Well, you as the customer are going to want to know, okay, I'm okay with giving you a deposit, but I'd like to kind of have some type of an idea as to what this build cost is going to be before I hand you over a check. I don't want to, this is what my budget is, and if this plan's going to come back at $150,000 over my budget, I'm not going to be able to build it. And I don't want to pay for something that I'm not going to be able to build. So fair enough. Now the builders who have experience and know pricing, they're going to be able to, give you some type of a ballpark. Now, they've never built this floor plan before, so they can't give you an exact price, but they can maybe take another home that they built and they can add and subtract for differences. You as the customer, be prepared to give some type of a deposit in order for the builder to move ahead and start spending money on getting plans drawn. So once you get to that point where you've got the blueprints drawn up, you as the builder are now going to move forward with getting everything bid out. And again, you want to make sure that the customer has done selections before you give them the final pricing. I mean, you can tell them where you're at with things. I mean, you're going to be getting numbers back for for lumber and for windows and for things like that. But before you finalize the building contract, make sure that all the selections are done. You as the customer, if you do this, if you make sure all of the selections are done, you're basically going to ensure that you're not having to pay out of pocket and you're not getting hit with upgrades and change order fees and things like that from the builder, because everything's accounted for from the get-go. So it's very beneficial for you as the customer, and for you as the builder, it's beneficial for you as well, because you're able to put together an accurate price, and it's going to just give you a smoother building process. If you've got all of the selections down, when it comes time for you to order each and everything that you need to order, you're not having to chase after the customer. Everything is right there for you to be able to go ahead and order. Now, the last component of the pricing, we've got blueprints, we've got selections, site improvements. Site improvements are another huge X factor with the pricing. And a lot of times when you're building a home, there are things that will come up with site improvements that weren't budgeted in for. There were unforeseen things. Maybe the excavator dug down and determined that, you know, they need to dig down 2 feet deeper where your garage is going to be, because they weren't hitting compactable soil. So now the footing walls underneath your garage are going to be 2 feet taller than accounted for. And maybe those walls need to stick up out of the ground a little bit more than you know what was foreseen in the beginning. So maybe they need to stick out of the ground by 2 feet. So now you've got a void between the top of that wall and the ground level, and you need to fill that in with stone. So there's going to be additional cost for additional stone and for concrete walls. So, you know, just understand that these types of things can come up, but there are ways to try to combat this from the beginning. So with site improvements, you know, you and the builder should both be, if you own the lot, hopefully there's some things that you know about the lot. You know it's got sewer, you know it's got water, maybe you know where it is, maybe not. Maybe you just purchased the lot and you're coming to the builder saying that I have a lot, and the builder needs to do the due diligence to find all of these things out. Is there sewer and water at the lot? Yes. Okay, that doesn't mean that sewer and water are actually at the front property line. It could mean that sewer and water are across the street. Yes, there's access to it, but it's across the street. The fact that sewer and water is across the street instead of stubbed to the lot line can be a difference of $20,000 easily. So these are the different things. You know, where is gas and electric? How much is gas and electric going to cost to bring to the house? What type of soil do we have here? Are we going to have issues when we're digging where you can dig test holes on the property to determine how far down you're going to have to dig before you hit compactable soil? Or if the holes that you dig start to fill up with water. There's a lot of different things that you can check for here. Again, my course, I've got a whole list of these things that are covered. My membership service that I offer for new builders, I've got that list in there as well. But those are the things, the site improvements are things that you need to account for. The length of the driveway, the septic system, and how many bedrooms. Is it 3 bedroom? Is it 4 bedroom? The price varies. So you want to make sure that you're accounting for all of the proper site improvements. That's the final component that's going to go into the cost, because you get the blueprint bid up. You've got all the selections and finishes that are going to be accounted for in there. But if you don't have the proper site improvements budgeted in, that can be huge out-of-pocket surprises and bad ones for the customer. So once you've got everything put together, and it can take a long time. I just finished doing this with somebody, and I mean, it's probably been 4-5 months now. They weren't in a huge hurry, but just the time spent with going back and forth with the preliminary plan, and a lot of times, you know, you as the builder, if somebody's building a custom home, you may get a preliminary plan back. It's got everything according to the way that the customer wants it. But now they're like, well, you know what? We actually want to add a sunroom, or we want to do this. So you get these back and forths. And every time that you have a revision with the draftsman, depending on who you're using, it could be 2 weeks at a time. So it can take months to get the plan to where it needs to be. Now, that's why you can start doing these selections in the meantime. You don't have to wait for the, you know, unless there's going to be major kitchen changes and you know, big major changes, but there are selections that can take place while you're doing this planning process so that you're not wasting time there. Those are the things that's kind of how the beginning process is going to go, you know, up until the point where selections are done, blueprints are finalized, site improvements are determined, so you're able to know pretty much what the exact build cost is. Again, there are always going to be variables that can derail that a little bit, but if you do all that, you're setting yourself up for the best opportunity to have a successful and smooth building process. Whether you're the builder, the new builder, the customer, either way, if all those things are done, you're gonna get as an accurate of a price that you can possibly get, and then you're ready to put the building contract together. Once the building contract gets put together, that's gonna get sent to the lender. Maybe the builder has a lender they use, maybe the customer has a lender that they're gonna use. Either way, they're going to process that construction loan. That's usually going to take 30 to 45 days. And that's where we're going to stop this video here. I think that's enough information for how that beginning process is going to go. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Have a great rest of the day, and God bless.